I couldn't be more proud of our team and what they were able to accomplish today against a really good Illinois team. I think it's well documented. I got so much respect for Coach Bielema and what he does and how he does it. You got to be really patient playing him. He's got a lot of Iowa blood in him, from where he played, and I mean that as the greatest compliment because it's hard because they're very good, they're very talented, they're long, they're tough defensively, they got depth. Offensively, Luke is a very, very good player. I think he's one of the better players at quarterback in the entire Big Ten. He's just got great composure. He's got poise. He's accurate. He's tough. He can run the ball. I have so much respect for him. He's so fun to watch, except when you have to prepare to play him. I've enjoyed watching him from afar, and obviously last year playing against him. But they're a really good football team. Like I said, it's a huge win for our program. Another ranked victory in a really hostile environment and tough environment. They're really hard to beat. They're just hard to beat. And we were +2 in the ball. I thought that, we'll look at the tackling battle for 78%, but we won the ball 2-0. The tackling could be close. I thought we missed some tackles on defense. And then the explosive plays, they're just tough to get explosive plays against. I think Oregon's the one that maybe had the most explosive plays. If you go back to the Purdue game, it was a little bit more scrambled. Play breaks down, big run, big play. But for the most part, they held them. And that's how they beat teams the way they have. They're a resilient team. They've had 2 wins in overtime. They're a ranked opponent. But, our players all week were just tremendous. We just kept talking about, so what? So what? So what? That was the whole thing. Last week was DIB, do it better. And this week was, so what? You got a great crowd. It's going to be hostile. So what? They're ranked. They're really good. So what? Right? Coach Bielema and his staff, they haven't lost to Minnesota. They're 10-0, and so what? And they just had that so what approach because it kept it internal. It was just everything about internal. And we were using the theme of Halloween and pumpkins, and we were doing everything they could so they could see orange everywhere that they look. So we could at least find a way to be able to, simulate the crowd. But what an environment. The kids never gave up. They just kept rowing the boat, and that's what Resolve's all about, what you saw today. And I thought they rode the boat perfectly tonight. And you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make decisions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'm sure you'll ask me why and some questions like that, but there's not one decision that I would take back. I trust our team. I trust how they play. I love how they play. And it was going to come down to who had the ball last, who had the chance, and then who could make the last play. Because one play never loses you a game, but one play can win you the game if you end it. And our D-line ended it. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
You guys fell behind 17-16 there, and there was a response. How much did Max affect that?
Oh, I think it was everybody, not just Max. But there was one point in the headset. Sometimes I inject myself, sometimes I don't. I think you watch me on the sideline. Sometimes I feel like it needs to be coach-led at that moment. Something needs to be said, and sometimes I don't. I heard over the headset. I was outside the huddle, and Greg was telling one of our coaches, let him go. Let him go. Just let him go, because it was Max talking to the offense and making that his drive. Not him, but that we need to put a big drive together here. And I thought they did a really good job of that. That was a great response after the fake punt, and then the touchdown response to Illinois. So it was going to go back and forth, but I trust our team. I trust our defense. I trust our offense. I trust how we were moving the ball. We just needed to get the ball in the end zone. It was great to have Dragon. I can't say get back, but just get better. He got better. He's getting better. He had 4 today. I think it was 4. 4 for 4. That's better than he was. So, it's not about, well, he's back. He's better than he was before because he's used that failing as growth.
Can you walk us through the fake punt, the decision-making, what you wanted to see there?
Yeah, there's so many great things that we did today, and we're going to talk about the one thing, and I appreciate your job. I love it. Here's what happens. When we have a safe look, I'll start over so you can start your camera. When we have a safe look, like we did, there are times we will put a tag on it, right? And Mark Crawford's 48 years old. The guy can make a decision on his own, but it's based on him. And this isn't blaming him. It's just on him. We had the perfect call for it. We haven't ran that forever, but the one look they gave us is perfect for it. Now, it's a stretch, right, to the 4th and long. But it was such a great look for him that he just took off. And he has the green light to do that. And that's my call to put that green light on. I could easily put a red light on that. I didn't because I don't want it to be the one look we have it and he doesn't do it because I put a red light on it. Obviously, it didn't work. We were a few yards short, but it was the right call in the right situation, up 6. Now we get that first down. Maybe we score a touchdown or go up 9, and the game's very different at that point. So is it risky? Well, yeah, there's a risk involved. But most of you are talking about how I don't do much risk anyway, and that was pretty risky. I mean, it didn't work. The 4th and inch at USC worked. This didn't work. But there's times that it comes about where you got to trust your players. Then you have those situations that come up, just like the bonsai kick at Michigan. It comes up twice every 12 years. This one was in that situation, and you let him go, and I trust him, and there was no like, why'd we do that? Nope. It was a good call and a good decision. Just didn't execute it.
How would you characterize the day for Darius, especially playing through some bumps?
Tough. I mean, he's becoming a grown man before your eyes. On the field, off the field, he's growing up so much. He's such a mature young man. It's all about for each other. This team's all about for each other. I mean, we got a bunch of nicks, bruises. Guys are hurt. This is a very physical outfit. This is 9 Big Ten. I mean, when are we in? 6? How many Big Ten games we got? 6?
Yes, we played 6.
Played 6? My goodness. But it's a tough slate. And we got ranked teams and tough teams. And, I thought that he played through a bunch of stuff. And, anybody can find a way to, say, okay, that's enough. But when you're committed to your teammates, this team understands what our trainers do a great job. Our doctors do a great job. Everybody's transparent. Doctors are talking to me. Our trainers are talking to me. Are telling us what it is. They're talking to the players. Or, they're not just letting the player decide. They're truly taking them in the 10. But these guys love each other, man. They're doing it for each other, and it's fun to see. Everybody talks about that, but it truly is.
What went into the pass, the call on the pass from Max and Jameson for the touchdown?
That's all Harbaugh right there. Yeah, that was one of the PJs. We're going to do what? And just want to make sure I heard it correctly. And it's great because after I say that, Coach Simon said, "Oh, this is great." Coach Sheehan, this is going to be fantastic. Coach Callahan, who never comments on any plays, he's just an old grungy offensive line guy. "Oh, this is going to be great." And then I felt way better. But I thought Harbaugh called another great game. I thought that they gave us a lot of different looks, tough to be able to diagnose. And I thought, we missed some throws maybe early. Our accuracy maybe wasn't as what it needs to be. But the fight and the resolve and the toughness and just keep grinding and going, you got to give them credit, too. They're not going to allow you to do that. They have the Maryland tape, too. I mean, they're going to make it hard.
How much do you think the take-give has really spurred you guys forward here in this 4-game winning streak? You haven't had a turnover since the month of September now.
Yeah, I mean, we were 1-0, and we won 2-0 in the turnover battle today. But I will tell you this. It's the number one statistic directly correlated to winning. And, when I was at Western Michigan, that 2016 team, I don't think they turned the ball over until game 7 or 8. Like, think about that. They didn't have a turnover. We had plenty of takeaways, but you wonder how a Western Michigan can get to 13-0 and go to the Cotton Bowl. I mean, they don't turn the ball over. When you look at what we've done over the last few games, we don't turn the ball over, and they obsess over it on defense. That game comes down to 2 possessions, right? And if those don't happen, the score doesn't end 25-17. Who knows what it looks like? But I think our defense is doing a great job. And the last one, obviously, the most important one that ends the game.
What do you feel like about Max's response? Because obviously you talked about his accuracy, but to kind of keep coming back each play to close it.
Well, he's just so resilient. I mean, he's a throwback. I mean, the Joe Namath of the world, the Terry Bradshaws of the world, they love this guy. He's just tough. Hangs in the pocket, delivers the ball. He's got great leadership. He's diving for first downs. He makes, the appropriate throw. He's got no problem taking the check down. One of the most important plays was one of our 3rd down and 7s that hit Darius on an option route. And you can that's boring. I'll hit the check down. But when you have players like Darius and Marcus and Jaron and CA and Newbin who are receivers out of the backfield, it's not boring. Execution's never boring, right? And he understands that. Completions are exciting, right? And getting the ball to your playmakers is exciting. And I think he did a really good job of that. I thought, even offensive line play, I thought we were really, really good tonight. We had a few false starts and a few things we hurt ourselves. But as you can see, we've shuffled some things around up there. I mean, Philip Daniels gets his first, I think his first start at right tackle. Against these guys, I thought he played exceptional. Now, I haven't watched the film, but his resiliency, his toughness, his effort, his technique, I thought he did a really good job. And I give Coach Callahan a lot of credit for trusting him, but he's had to earn that. I would have loved to have him do that in game one. We weren't there yet. But this is going to be an opportunity that in a really tough environment on the road with a ranked opponent to go out there and have your first start. But it reminds me of Ariante. Remember Ariante going out there at Nebraska and, when they had nobody in the stands and then COVID, and went out there and did a great job. And I'm not comparing him to him, but as a freshman coming out in this environment and doing what he did, I'm really proud of him.
Terry Brown on the next to last possession for Illinois. How do you feel he came up?
Say that, I'm sorry.
Terry Brown on that the next to last possession for Illinois with the third down stop. And tip pass.
We got some really good young players. I think that's very obvious. And to credit our coaches and them, the development and the rapid development, the offseason, like our program in the offseason to develop these guys, the fundamental techniques, the discipline, the detail, the how. And then they're freshmen. They got to have confidence. I mean, they got to be able to have confidence. They've got to be able to go out there and fail forward and go play. Kerry Brown, I mean, he is such a versatile player. I know he's not the biggest guy, but he can do a lot. And the great thing, if you saw today, we had 3 safeties on the field a lot in different packages. We had Cody Lindenberg at defensive end. I mean, we're moving people around based on, some guys may be a little banged up, hurt. They're going to go, they're going to start, but how much are we going to get out of them? I told you at the beginning of the year, the versatility on this football team is one of the strengths. Offense, defense, special teams, and it doesn't promise you any wins, but it's one of our strengths. It's fun. It's creative.
Why was the Michigan locker room such a turning point for you guys?
There are certain locker rooms that you remember forever. My second year at Western Michigan, we were down 20 points at halftime, probably getting ready to get fired. We were 1-11. I think at the time we'd won 2 or 3 games, and it wasn't good. And I remember watching that locker room, and we came out from a 20-point deficit and won. But that locker room, they changed at halftime. Like it'll always stay in my mind. And they just needed to know they weren't average, nor were we going to settle for average. The Michigan locker room, it wasn't about a call. Coyle was right next to me. Garrett, right next to me. Heather, right next to me. And there wasn't a dry eye. There wasn't division. Everyone was embracing each other when I walked in, telling them how much they loved each other and how much they are proud of how hard we fought to the very end, and this is it. They were drawing a line. I didn't even have to say anything. But when I walked in, it was positive. It was telling them how great they are, and they agreed. And I said, but there's going to be a line drawn in the sand where we don't doubt ourselves anymore. We don't doubt how good of a football team this team can be. Team. There might be other people that make more money, do this, do that, have this, have that. Team. Comes down to team. And this team is so fun to coach because they are unique, because they truly are connected. They love each other. It sounds corny and cliche. I mean, especially when you watch, the Dodgers win the World Series. Every time how connected they are, right? But that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to win on the road in the Big Ten. That's what it takes to win at home. That's what it takes week in, week out in this league. It doesn't promise you anything, but it gives you the best chance. And it isn't about just the locker room. You got 48 hours till you're back on that field again. What do they do with it milling around, sitting in their brain, sitting in their heart, sitting in their soul? What do they do with it? Who do they listen to? What do they bring in to their ears and their souls and their hearts? What do they bring in? And this team only brought positive and encouragement. And that was one of the best weeks of practice we had going into that USC week when everybody didn't think we had a chance. And, this isn't about a one-game thing. Like, we're going to show them. We're not showing anybody anything. We're just proving to ourselves we're exactly who we say we are. Right? And on defense, ESV, that excitement, that swarm, that legal violence on defense. On offense, 1-0 each play. Just execute that play and change the game somehow on field position on special teams and love each other. And that's exactly what they did. And they said this week, so what? Everybody's saying this or that, so what? We're just going to go out there and be us. So, again, got to give Illinois a lot of credit. Really good football team. We're really proud to get out of here with a win. We got to heal up and head out to New Jersey next week. So we'll enjoy this on the way home, and then tomorrow start preparing for Rutgers. So thanks, everybody, for making the trip out to Champaign. Roll the boat, Sky Ma, go Gophers. Thanks.